On April 14, 1912, the ocean liner RMS Titanic struck an iceberg. More than 1,500 individuals lost their lives as a result of the collision, which led to the ship sinking the next day. One of the worst maritime disasters in history occurred during the occurrence. The story is well known and even served as the basis for a celebrated Hollywood film. But are you truly up to speed on this tragedy? Let's go and find out. Time it took to sink. The Titanic took about 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink completely after the collision. Delay. The Titanic could have potentially been saved. A 30-second delay on the ship's communication lines resulted in it being too late for the captain to change route. Honeymoon. It is estimated that about a dozen couples were celebrating their honeymoon aboard the Titanic. Condemnation. Masabumi Hosono, a Japanese survivor, faced criticism from the public for escaping the collision alive. Because he did not perish alongside the other passengers, the Japanese public viewed him as a coward. Lifeboats. Historical records show that lifeboats were not used to their full capacity. Saved by alcohol. The Titanic's head baker, Charles Joffin, drank enough alcohol to survive the freezing water temperatures before the ship sank. He managed to survive for 2 hours at sea before being rescued. Budget. The budget for the movie, Titanic, was greater than the money spent to build the Titanic itself. Non-stop. As depicted in the movie, it is a proven fact that the ship's musicians continued to play for hours until the ship completely sank. Bodies. Only 333 bodies were recovered from among more than 1,500 people who died in the tragic event. Compartments. The Titanic would not have sunk if up to 4 of its 16 watertight compartments had been flooded. However, the iceberg caused the 6 front compartments to flood. Fake. The Titanic's 4th smokestack served no purpose at all. It was added to create more visual symmetry. First class. The ship's first-class suites cost about £870, which is equivalent to £75,156, about $97,939 nowadays. Heroes. None of the 30 engineers responsible for making the ocean liner run came out of the tragedy alive. They kept working until the end in the hopes that all passengers could escape while the ship was still working. Ancient iceberg. Scientists believe that the iceberg that sank the Titanic began to be formed sometime around the year 1000 BCE. Probabilities. According to a survey by 2 professors from the Department of Geography at the University of Sheffield, the likelihood of a boat crashing into an iceberg was much smaller at the time of the Titanic than it is today. Locating the Titanic. It took 73 years to find the wreck of the Titanic. Dogs. Of the 12 dogs on board, only 3 survived the disaster. Early movie. Before the 1997 hit movie, Titanic, there was another production about the disaster. Saved from the Titanic, was released only 29 days after the ship sank. The protagonist is played by an actress who survived the tragedy. Strange payments. After the incident, the families of the band members were asked to pay for the cost of the uniforms the men wore. Priest. A priest named Thomas Biles refused to board the lifeboats on more than one occasion. Instead, the priest listened to confessions of those who wanted to be heard and absolved of their sins before they left the ship. Prediction. In 1898, 14 years before the Titanic sank, an author named Morgan Robertson wrote a book called The Wreck of the Titan, which was about an unsinkable ship that sank after colliding with an iceberg. Bacteria. Bacteria are literally consuming the wreck of the Titanic. If nothing is done, the wreckage will disappear in the next 20 years. Lost treasures. The total amount of materials lost in the disaster, including jewelry and cash, is around $6 million. Titanic II. A replica of the Titanic called Titanic II is under development. It should start operating in 2022. Binoculars. The crew of the Titanic did not have binoculars. The instruments were all stored in a locker for which they had no key. Binoculars might have helped them spot the iceberg in time to avoid disaster. Cause of death. Almost all of those who went into the water during the disaster died of cardiac arrest in 15 to 30 minutes, due to the extremely cold temperatures. Iceberg. To this day, the Titanic remains the only ocean liner to sink due to an iceberg. Builder. Thomas Andrew, one of the builders and architects of the Titanic, was aboard the ship and was one of those who did not survive. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe for more information. Please do support us.